Microsoft Excel today. So since this is our first class, I don't know how many of us have basic knowledge of Excel already, but I'm just going to take it like we all are beginners and we're just going to be looking at the basics tonight. And while we're at it, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop your questions in the comment section. Can everyone see my screen, please?
We can. I can.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So, like I said, we're going to be looking at Excel like we're all beginners tonight. And this is what we have for today. We're going to be doing the basic introduction to Excel, the definition of some components, and we're going to be getting to know our Excel interface. Then we'll learn basic shortcuts in Excel, Excel data types. Then we'll learn how to enter numbers in Excel, inserting a new column and a new row, saving a document, loading text and CSV files, creating a table, conditional formatting, removing duplicates, sorting, then Excel functions. So firstly, we're going to be looking at what Excel is. So Excel is basically a spreadsheet that is used for organizing. So it helps us manipulate, organize, and analyze data using grids of cells arranged in rows and columns. Then we'll be defining some terms in Excel like a spreadsheet. So a spreadsheet is a tool that is used to store and manipulate data. So basically the whole Excel interface is spreadsheets, and then a spreadsheet has rows and columns. I'm trying to open an Excel sheet first. Sorry. Okay. So like I was saying, this completely is a spreadsheet. And then for a spreadsheet, these are the rows and these are the columns. The rows are characterized by letters and the columns are characterized, sorry, the rows are characterized by numbers and the columns by letters. Then the fourth one, a cell is the intersection between a row and a column. Here, this is a cell. Are you guys with me, please?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So where where a row and a column meets is called a cell. Then a range is a collection of cells that are grouped together. So if I have to select from this cell to this, so for all the cells that I've selected, it makes up a range. And then this interface right here is a worksheet. Then a workbook is a collection of various worksheets together. So we can say this file that I just opened here is a workbook, and then this is a worksheet. If I have to have another worksheet, so this is another worksheet. So, and then getting to know the Excel interface. The title bar, where we have this book one, is the title bar. So the title bar is used to reference it displays the name of the document we're working on. So where we have book one is the title bar. Then for everything here, this is the toolbar, and it comprises of this is the toolbar comprises of the buttons used to execute commands when we click. So this is the toolbar. If for any reason we have to do anything, maybe inserting a number, and we probably want to change this data type to maybe a number or something. So basically, all these are the tools that we can use in working. Then the menu bar. So this is the menu bar right here, where we have the file, home, inserts, page layout, formulas, data, review, view, and all that. And our formula bar. Okay, so this is the formula bar. It helps us view what we already have, like written down in a cell. And next is the name box. So this is the name box right here, where we have A1 is the name box. This displays the name of the cell that is currently being worked on. If I move this to another cell, it changes automatically. And then we have the control buttons, the quick access toolbar, the file tabs, the dialog box launchers, the column bar. And also for this next slide, there is a detailed listing of everything that's on the other page. Is everyone following? Can I go on?
Yes, please.
Okay. So would move to Excel shortcuts. So we'll probably be trying out some of these things. I don't know if you have your systems there, you can also try that from your own end. Okay. So for the first one, to close a workbook. So if I type Control plus W, it closes, but because I haven't saved this workbook, it's asking if I want to save first before I close, and probably don't save. And this closes the workbook. Sorry. Okay. And then the next one, to open a workbook. So Control plus O. Yeah, open. It opens a workbook. Next, we have Alt H to go to the Home tab. Alt H. So this is the Home tab, and here it's already giving us a shortcut of whatever this ones can do. And then we have to save a workbook. So Control S is used to save a workbook. I'm sure most of us are familiar with that. Then we have Control C to copy, Control V to Control C to copy. We have Control V to paste, Control Z to undo, delete to remove cell contents, then to choose a fill color, Alt plus H plus H. Then to cut is Control X. To go to the Insert tab, Alt N. Apply bold formats. So Control B is to bold, and then to align text, we have Alt plus H plus A plus C. To go to the page layout, Alt P. To go to the data tab, Alt A. To go to the view tab, we have Alt W. Then to open the context menu, Shift plus F10. To add borders, to delete columns, go to the formula tab to hide selected rows and hide selected columns. as well. And then, okay.
I'm not hearing you clearly, Mr. Chichu.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I would prefer you speak louder now.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
Um, So the data types that are used in Excel, we have text data types, and a text data type comprises of both text and string data, and this can be alphanumeric data. We can have just numeric characters, then we can have letters, numbers, symbols, and spaces. Then for the numbers are numeric data types where we have integers. Integers are whole numbers, then decimal numbers, then we have percentage, currencies, and other scientific notations. Then we have the dates and the time. We have the Boolean data type. The Boolean data type comprises of true or false, yes or no, zero or one. And to do that, we need the and operator or and the not operator and all that. So we have error. So Excel identifies some data types as errors when there are errors in the formulas, when we try to use some formulas, and if we're not using the correct syntax of the formula, then automatically Excel identifies that as an error. So we have an array. An array is used to hold multiple values within a single cell or a range of cells. And then we have a hyperlink. Okay, so for operators in Excel, we have arithmetic operators. And arithmetic operators are addition, subtraction, the multiplication, division, exponential, that is the power operator, and the percentage. Then we have our comparison operators, that is the equal to, the not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and all that. Then concatenation operators, this is used to join two cells together. So entering values in a cell. Let's just move to this place. So this is a cell. For example, if we want to enter number values like 1, and then the next one is going to be 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6. If we have to get to 50, and no, instead of doing all this like one after the other, you can do like just one or two, and we're going to autofill. So when we select this 1 and 2, there is a little green box here. So if we move the cursor, our cursor to the little green box, the cursor turns black. So once it's black, we can just drag, and when we drag, it autofills automatically to whatever number we want it to get to. And not just vertically, this can also be done horizontally as well. Then we just, is either it's copying, and then here we can just change it to fill series, and then it goes. Yeah, is everyone following, please?
Yes.
Can you hear me, guys? You can drop a reaction, please, if you can. Okay. um Creating new rows and columns. To create a new column, if we want to create another column in front of the column A that we have already, we just drag our cursor to where we have, to this edge, to the beginning of the column, and then we right click and insert. So automatically this inserts a new column, and the same goes for rows as well. So just insert, and we have a new column and a new row here. So saving a document. To save the document, we go to the file tab and save as. Then you select any location on your system where you want your document to be saved, and you just give it a name and press save, and that's it. So after you save the first time, subsequently while you're working on your workbook, because it's very important to note that while you work you save, because anything can happen. There can be power failure, and also while you work you save immediately. So next you just have to keep doing control S. While you work you do control S, while you work you do control S, to keep saving your documents in case you have power failure, or if for any reason your document should close unexpectedly, so you don't lose so you don't lose what you've worked on already. So okay, next we are going to be loading a text or a CSV file, and for this class we are going to use a CSV file. So when we go to data, from, like I said, we are going to be importing a text file. So from text, I have a text file already saved on my system here. So import, and next. So it's very key to note the kind of delimiter that was used to demarcate or maybe to differentiate the text file. So for this text file that we're working on, a semicolon was used and not a tab or a comma or space. So instead of tab, we're going to be selecting the semicolon. So what this does is, for everywhere that there is a semicolon, Excel sees it as a new colon. So instead of the semicolon, it breaks the data into various columns so that we can have a data in a more structured manner. And that brings me to having to ask, I don't know if anyone here knows what a structured data is. Please, if you do, you can indicate by raising your hand. Okay, you can unmute and probably tell us what you think a structured data is.
I don't know.
Does anyone have an idea?
No.
No idea.
Although
Okay.
I think a structured data is like a data that is well arranged or something like that, that is well placed. Is that it?
Yes, you're on the right track. I would give an example. So I would show you guys what it is. But yes, that is it basically. So the way this data is arranged now, this is structured because it's arranged in a way that it's easy for us to understand. Is it's been divided into rows and columns, and it makes it easier to work with. But unlike okay. So this is what the data looked like before we had to separate it. So with this structure, it is very unstructured, because if we have to work with this now, it's going to be very difficult, because you're just seeing John Doe, you're seeing 30, you're seeing New York. I know you really, just mere looking at it, you don't even know what it is that is happening here, and you don't understand anything. But if we have to break it into rows and columns, it makes it easier. So now at least we know that these are the names, and then we could just call this age, and maybe we can call this states, and probably email here. So at least looking at this now, we understand what we are talking about, right? So I hope we get that now. All right. So creating a table. I would use this here, since we already have like data values here and there. So, okay. Before we move to that, can someone tell me what data type the name John Doe is, please? We talked about data types earlier, and we learned that we have text data types, and the text data types comprises of alpha, numeric, and then the numeric, character, strings. And then we have the number data types that has integer, and the integer is a whole number. Then the decimal, the percentage, and then we have the boolean data type. So please, I don't know, can someone tell me what data type this John Doe is?
Characters and string.
A text data type.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, thank you. And what about 42?
Numbers.
Numeric.
Numeric.
So what type of numeric is 42? 42 is 42 is an integer. So an integer, like I said, are whole numbers. 1 is an integer, 2 is an integer, 10 is an integer, 100 is an integer, 50 is an integer. And then we have floats, and floats are decimal numbers. So when we have 1.2, this is a float. When we have 10.4, that is a float. So once there are decimals, then that is a float data type, right? And like I said, the Boolean data types are the yes or no, true or false. Are you guys following, or do I need to go over anything again?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we're going to create a table from this here. So basically, it's easy. It's either you select everything you want at once, and when you get to insert, then table. This tab here, my table has headers. I'm going to click it because I already added headers to this table when I added the name, the age, state, and email, right? So if sorry, okay. So if I didn't have to add this header and I want to create a table here, I'm not going to click my table has headers. So automatically Excel gives me a space where I can add my headers. So I can just change this to name or whatever headers I want to add, whatever names I want to give to the headers. And it's easier to select a range of like the range of the table when you have little data sets. But if for any reason we're having like very large data sets and we have to, instead of having to select everything from the like beginning to the end, it might be tedious. So from here you can just, okay, you can add a colon. When you add a colon, you're just, a colon basically tells Excel that you're going to be adding a range of values or a range of cells. So if I want to create a table, just a little table right here from cell A1 to cell C4. So once I click the end of the cell I want it to stop at and I press OK. Okay, sorry. Let me do that again. Okay. And also you could do this and then you drag if you're uncertain about the size of your table. When you write from the first table, right from this point, still from the arrow here, you can drag to extend or to expand your table. So I can expand this table to go on and on as much as I want them to. Then conditional formatting. Conditional formatting works when uh, what I'm trying to give a practical example. Okay, for example, if a numeric value in the range of B2 to B10 are less than 100, color the cells blue. So this is saying format a colon or format a row based on a given condition, right? Based on a given condition. So, okay, let me just copy this. So, so for conditional formatting, if, okay, let's say I want to format this range of cells here, and I'm trying to give it a condition that I want unique values and I don't want repeated values, because I can see the name John Doe being repeated and all. And for everywhere that there is a John Doe, I want it to turn the text red. so that it will be very easy for me to locate the places where I have issues and I want the places where I have issues and I probably want to delete the duplicates of John Doe and just work with one. So when I select the range of values, there's a tab here, conditional formatting. So highlight cell rules, and what I'm trying to work on duplicate values now. There are other conditions for formatting. It can be greater than, it can be less than, or between, equal to, or it can be for where there is. Okay, we'll just try few of them, but first let's do the duplicate values. So I'm saying for anywhere that there's a duplicate value, it should fill it with light red fill with a dark red text. If I want to change it to maybe a red text, and okay. So for everywhere that this John Doe is repeating itself, it's going to highlight it, it's going to change the text color to red based on the condition that I gave initially. So I would like to emphasize that Excel is a very broad application. Yes, it's like almost impossible for one person to even know the whole Excel. So the whole point of learning and advancing is the fact that when we learn, we try to go more. We have to do like more researches on our own, because trust me, you might not get to cover everything about Excel in even 2 weeks. It's that broad. Is that bird, and there's nobody that can say, okay, I am a full island when it comes to Excel. And also we keep learning every day. So after this, I would like to urge, and yeah, I would like to urge all of us to try to do more research and yeah, to know better, because trust me, we're definitely not going to be covering everything at once. Yeah. So let's try another conditional formatting. This time we're saying the text that contains. So here we're saying for everywhere where there is a Smith, it's likely. Sorry. So for everywhere where there is a Smith, we're saying light red fill with a dark red text and okay. So can you see, because there is a Smith here, it changes. And okay, if I should change this John Doe and maybe I'm giving a John Smith, because I added a Smith, automatically this also has followed the same condition that I passed, since it's still in that same range of values. If I do it any other place, like maybe if I type a Smith here, then nothing happens because it wasn't added to the range of values. And okay, maybe we should try one more. Okay, I think that's what we're going to use, because I don't have. Oh yeah, let me try to put numbers here. So 2, 20, 3, 3. We have 54. We have 10. We have 98. We have 5, 7. We select our range of values, conditional formatting. So let's say we want to highlight the cells that have numbers greater than 20. So for numbers greater than 20. For numbers greater than 20, we are saying yellow fill with dark yellow text. Okay. So this it's automatically highlights everywhere where there are numbers. Since 33 is greater than 20, 54 is greater than 20. So that is that about conditional formatting. So please, is everyone following? Any questions on what we've done so far? Okay, I guess we're good to go then. So, removing duplicates. Okay. So, let's try removing these duplicates. Okay, so now at least that we've seen that they are duplicates. At least from our conditional formatting, it shows that John Doe has been repeated so many times in one cell, and now we want to remove these duplicates, and we're saying we just want it to be only one John Doe, and there is no need for the name to occur multiple times. So we move to data. Sorry. But before that, as usual, we select our range of values. We select our range of values and then data. And here you can see there's a tab there, remove duplicates. So once you click on this tab, you're removing duplicates from column F and you press OK. So 3 duplicate values found and removed, 5 unique values remain. So the other John Does that were repeated, they've all been taken away automatically, and we now have just one. We have just one John Doe. And yeah, so that is that about removing duplicates. Um, okay, so I might be asking random questions. I don't know. Yeah, so if you probably hear your name and you can just answer us. We're all learning, like I said. So even if you don't know or you know, at least you make an attempt because we're all here to learn. I am also learning. I can learn a lot from you guys and the knowledge you have about Excel. It might even be something that I never knew. And so yeah, we're basically here to share knowledge. So sorting is any process that involves arranging the data into some meaningful order to make it easier to understand, to analyze, and to visualize. And we can sort in 3 different ways. We can sort from A to Z, so that is sorting from ascending order, and then we can sort in descending order. And now we can have custom sorts. So custom sorts is based on criteria. You're basically sorting a range of value based on a given condition, right? Okay, so we've selected our range of values, and here there's this sort and filter. So if I'm going to sort in ascending order, so sort smallest to largest, that is ascending order. So this has sorted the data we have here from the smallest down to the largest. And we can also do from the largest to the smallest. And then for our custom sorts, okay, sorry. Okay, values. Sorry. Okay. So I don't know if we have any questions so far from what we've done. I think I think for now I might stop sharing my screen and maybe take one or two questions. I can see some hands raised. I don't know. Falakemi Ishola, do you have any question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, so my question is that during the sorting and I think sorting and concentration, so it rearranges the value from ascending to like descending order or any way we don't want it. But the thing is that if I have like maybe the let me a name as age 17, another name as age 15, does it not scatter the
I didn't hear you.
system?
If what?
I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. The fact that we are sorting it from ascending to descending order or descending to ascending order anyway, but does it not scatter the data in that the person that has this value is it not changing or does it also change the name?
Oh, I understand what you're saying. Okay, so I might have to share my screen again. Okay. So if we have, sorry. So if we have these values here, and let's say we're giving this 2 and this 98 and 25 and probably 7. So if we're going to be sorting from the smallest to the largest, so this, and I guess this answers your question. So if we're going to be sorting from the smallest to the largest, there's always going to be a prompt that is going to ask you if you want to expand your selection or if you want to continue with just the current selection. If I should continue with just the current selection, it sorts this disregard irrespective of whatever data you have here. So yes, it's scattered. But if I'm going to sort from smallest to largest and I'm expanding my selection, so when you expand the selection, sorry, let me do this as a table. Okay, let me do this as a table. So sorry. Okay, so let's use this instead. So let me try sorting from the largest to the smallest. So when you have a complete data set and you probably want to sort from the largest to the smallest, when you do that, it doesn't really scatter because as you do that, every other thing moves with it. If we have to change again to smallest to largest, as we're sorting this, every other column is moving accordingly. But for this, because this is not in a table. Right, let me just undo. And let's try again. Did you say what's the name? Sorry. Falakemi. I don't know if your question has been answered. So if you once you're choosing the option to expand your selection, every other thing changes with the values that are changing. So that way your data is not scattered, because where there was two and there was a jondo, it is following accordingly, and then they are moving together concurrently. So have I answered your question? Okay, so now we're moving to Excel formulas. So Excel has a lot of inbuilt formulas, like I said. For a few have been listed here. Subsequently, would be looking at other ones in other classes. So for today's class, we're going to be looking at the sum function, the sum if, the count if, the average function, and we have the concatenate, round off, the len function, proper, upper, lower, and multiplication, division, modulus, and the power function. So the sum function two the sum function adds two or more numeric values together, and the syntax for the sum function is equal to. Please let's note that for every function or formula that we want to use in Excel, it must always be preceded with an equal to sign. So the syntax for the sum function is equal to sum, and then the range of values, or the cell reference of the cells that we want to actually sum together. And so, okay. If I want to check for the sum of 20 and 98 here, I'll just do equal to sum, and you click sum and you take 20 and probably comma 98, then you press enter. So when you press enter, automatically that gives you the sum. But if we are going to be taking a range, so equal to sum and then the range of values, then enter. Sorry, I did this near a table. So equal to sum, then range of values, enter. So the sum function is in two ways. It's either you're going to use a comma to separate when you have to pick like specific values, or you just select the whole range of values like we did for this one. Then the sum if calculates the total of cells in a range that meets specific criterias. So for sum if, it's going to add sum if it's saying two numbers. I'm going to add two numbers as long as I'm going to add two numbers as long as this criteria is being met. So I'm passing a condition. I'm saying probably I'll add two numbers as long as these two numbers are greater than 50. Right. So an example if we say equal to sum if, then the range of values, let's do this sum if, that's the range of values, then comma the criteria. Let's use something, sum if, then criteria. Mhm. Let's say greater than 50. Okay, no, sorry. Let me copy this out. And then I have this. So I'll just add, okay. And then probably for from here we have 50 and next, sorry, we have 50, we have 30, we have 100, we have 110, and now 25. Okay, so equal to sum if range of values. So we're saying for this range of values, as long as for that range of, for the selected range of values, as long as as long as this other sum range is greater than 50, we're saying sum if it's greater than 50. So for those less than 50, they won't be included to the sum. So when we press enter, sorry, I didn't put a semicolon here because Excel is seeing this as a string. So sorry, what's going on? Equal to sum if range, comma, criteria greater than 50, sum range. I don't know why this is not working. Okay, I don't know why that's, sorry, please. Why we are taking the examples, I would correct this. But let me just do the brief explanations. So for count, the count function counts the number of cells in a range of values that contain numeric values. Then the count if, okay, let me just do that. So for counts equals to counts and then range of values. So it's saying that there are five rows here or five columns here that have numbers in it. So if we want to check for this other side here, because there is no numeric value in this range of values, the count function is returning it as 0. Then count if counts the number of cells in the range of values that meet specific conditions. Then the average calculates the arithmetic mean. So no, mathematically, average is the count of numbers divided by this. Sorry, the sum of numbers divided by the count of numbers. We'll try this all out when working on the data set. So multiplication for Excel, the multiplication, Excel sees asterisks as a command to implement the multiplication operation. So wherever there's an asterisk, you're basically telling Excel that multiply. Then for division, the forward slash represents division operation in Excel. Then modulus is a type of division operation that returns the remainder instead of the number. So for example, if we're going to do 5 divided by 3, so 5 divided by 3 is definitely going to be 1 remainder 2. So modul for division will return 1 as a result, but modulus will return the remainder, which is 2, as the result. Then power, the power function is like raised to. So power is like an exponential function where you're saying 5 raised to the power of 2 or 2 raised to the power of 3. That's basically saying 2 times 2 times 2, 2 raised to the power of 3. And I don't know why I didn't include it, but for Excel, this is used to indicate the power function. Sorry. This symbol here is used to indicate the power function in Excel. Then the concatenate, it joins or it combines two text strings or two cell values together. The round off function is used to round numeric values to a specific number of digits. Then len returns the length of characters in a string or in a cell. And the proper function, arranges, it arranges a text or a string value, like doing case sensitivity. So for proper capitalizing every first letter of each word, and then the upper function converts every lowercase letter into a capital letter, and the lower function converts every uppercase letter, that's capital letter, to a small letter. And also we might be looking at the max function and the main functions, and subsequently in other classes would look at the and, the or, the not, and the conditional functions like the if function. I know. So I guess you all got the data sets that we'll be using. Please, did everyone get the okay? So before that, do we have any questions?
Please ask questions, guys. Please ask questions.
No questions? All right.
Please ask your questions. No questions. Miss Ikechi, are you done?
No, I'm trying to open the data sets. But if anyone
All
has
right.
any question, while I'm doing that, we can take questions.
You all
Okay.
can't tell me you don't have questions. Are you guys shy to ask?
Am I that good? I'm carrying everybody around because I
Ask
don't know.
questions. There is no way you will not have questions that you want to ask.
Ah, please, even me, I'm scared though. Please, oh, any question? I hope everybody is following. Please, guys.
Mr. Chechu, since they don't have questions, you can throw you can throw your own questions to them now.
Right. That was what I thought I should do.
I hope when she throws question, you guys can answer. Since you don't have questions to ask.
Okay. I'll still ask a question that I've been asking for some time. So when we have a value like 100, okay, yes. So 100, can someone tell me what data type 100 is, please?
Please ask the question again and louder this time, please.
Okay, I said we talked about data types earlier. So now I'm asking 100. What data type is 100?
100 is numerical data.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
can see we are following. Thank you very much.
Following.
The question: what is the
Thank
essence?
you,
I
Mr.
mean,
Adeyemi.
why are we using concatenate?
Okay. So, like I said earlier, concatenate is used to join text strings or two different cells together. I'll let me try to give an example of what concatenate does. Everyone can see my screen, I guess. So for concatenate, if let me do this. Okay, let me have John here and then Doe, and then we have Jane and I have Smith. Okay, so let's say this is first name and this is second name, and for some reason I don't want to I don't want to have to separate the first name and the second name. And probably if I'm going to be having like 100 records, it's going to be very tedious to start typing whatever is here into this place to join them. So we can use concatenate, like, so equal to concatenate, and then you choose the first text. Sorry. And then you choose the first text, comma, and the second one. Then when you press enter, so it joins John and Doe together. And as usual, if you drag it autofills, so whatever you did to this place would still be replicated here, and if we keep adding it will still do the same thing. I know. So please, have I answered the question?
Yes, the question has been answered. Thank you.
Okay, so please, any other question?
Please do that practical again, please.
What, the concatenate?
Yes, please. I want to try it on my system.
All right. Okay, so for concatenate, I'm saying when we want to join this, if for example you're going to be working on a data set that has like over 100 records, And I mean, it's going to be tedious for you to start having to type this whole thing one after the other. So you just like from the new colon, so equal to, then concatenate, and then text one, comma, text two. Then you press enter. So automatically it joins the two together. So, and then something else here is here. Same thing. So did you get that? And I said once you do it, once you've done it to the first row, you don't have to start rewriting the formula over and over and over and over again. So you can just autofill by dragging down. So what was done to the first rule will still be repeated in the second rule and the third rule. And as you go, it will still continue like that. So yeah. Did you get that, please?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Okay, before we go further, why
Please
when we talk,
repeat the process again.
I should repeat the process again.
Yeah, please.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay. So the syntax for concatenation is equal to concatenate, then the cells you want to join together. So equal to concatenate the first text, comma, the second one, then enter. And earlier when we talked about autofilling, I said when you want to autofill, for that's when you autofill works for formulas and probably a range of values or a sequence of numbers. So from this tiny green box here, when you move the cursor to it, and it's when the cursor turns black, you just right click and then you drag down. So whatever was done in the first row would be repeated in the second row and the third row. Is that clear now? Okay, I guess that it's clear. And then I went on to saying that I have a question, right? So when we talked about the Excel interface, I don't know, can someone remind me what this is? Where we have this formula showing it, the place I highlighted where my cursor is now. Is Can someone tell me what that is?
Can you please repeat that question, please?
Okay, I said from when we first started, when I had to talk about the Excel interface, I made mention of like the place where is highlighted now, where my cursor is. I want someone to tell me what it is called, please.
Formula bar.
Is that formula bar now?
Okay, okay, thank you. I guess we're following. One more champagne for everybody. Thank you, guys. Okay, let's proceed to this now. So this is the first data set that we're going to be working on, and this is showing a grading for a classroom activity. So a teacher at the end of the term is trying to impute her scores and all for the students' assessment, so attendance, assignment.
Please, I didn't need to mute this audio. I didn't need to mute your audio. I didn't need.
test, second test, and then the exam. For sorry. For this, we're going to okay. So this is showing what each student scored based on the attendance, and for this is what each student scored based on the assignment, and for this the first test, second test, and then the exam. So the total score. So now for this teacher, her total score is definitely going to be over 100. So for the total score is going to be an addition of the um the score from each student, from the attendance to the assignment, the first test, the second test, and then the exam. And so please, I don't know if can anyone tell me what Excel function that would be used to compute total score? Any idea, please? So I said the syntax for our sum function equal to sum and the range of values for each student. So enter. So it's seen that at the end of the term, this student scored 90 over 100. So like I said earlier, instead of having to rewrite the formulas all over and over again, we just autofill and drag down. We just autofill and drag down, and that is that. So did everyone get that, or do I need to go back? This grade, but I would leave it for our next class when we must have done the and, or, and not function, and then the if function. Because if I should go into it now, it's just like we're jumping, and also we're going to reports. I would want to give it to us as a take home at least. So for this grade, what we want to achieve here is saying, for example, we're saying maybe grade A is going to be from 85 to 100. So you're saying if the score is greater than or equal to 85, then imputes an A. Or if the score is yeah, so that's just it. So we would look at this grade probably in our next class. So we have few minutes remaining, so let's just go over this again. So here we have a range of values, and we're going to be performing this function based on the values we have here. So for the first one is count, and the first person here is Anelli. So you're saying count Anelli. And for this, we're going to be using count if. Right here. We're going to be using count if. Okay, no, we're going to be using count if. So for this, we'll have equal to count if range of values, comma, and our criteria is going to be annually. Close bracket, and then enter. Sorry. Equal to count meant to actually use. Hmm, This is not doing what let's do the sum first. Okay. Equal to sorry. Equals to sum if range of values sorry. Sum if is sum if so this is the range then criteria and comma sum range.
I hope we are all following. If you are lost, please ask questions. Due to network with Miss Ujechi, I guess we have to move this class, we adjourn this class to our next class. Should continue from where she stopped in our next class. Her network is not stable. I apologize for that. So we'll be rounding up right now. I appreciate all of you for joining our master class. Thank you very much, and I trust that you have gained valuable insights today. Furthermore, we'll be sharing a recording of the class in the group for your reference, and I wish all of us all the best in our tech endeavors, and I commend your choice to delve into the field of technology. God bless you all, and have a great night. Thank you very much.